Yes?
What makes you think you have a job in the next 5 years with the rise of AI?
Good question. In terms of how AI technology is evolving and innovating, I think every professional has to evolve and innovate.
I saw a meme a few days ago. It was a woman's birthday. She wanted a specific gift from her husband. So what she did was use her husband's computer to search for the particular gift item that she wanted. Next thing, the man starts to see targeted ads about that gift. He ended up getting her the gift because he just kept seeing it so much.
Firstly, I want to say it's a very honest and transparent relationship.
So in a scenario like this, what marketing strategies and AI technologies would you say are in play here?
Those are interesting questions. Let's have a conversation out of the class.
He's a senior lecturer and innovation lead at the University of Salford Business School, a digital marketing specialist, strategy and innovation consultant. He talks about AI, marketing. He talks about a lot amongst so many other things. This is Mirage Islam. So I saw a meme a few days ago. It's a couple, it's a woman's birthday, and she wanted a specific gift from her husband. So what she did was go on her husband's devices and searched for the gift item she wanted. Next thing, the man starts to see, targeted ads about that gift, and he just sort of felt like he needed to get it for his wife. I mean, that was something smart I think she did. But what do you think was at play here? Is it what AI technologies or what marketing strategies, what do you think was really at play here?
Well, firstly, I want to say it's a very honest and transparent relationship. However, in specifically to your question in relation to that, it's behavioral and targeting. Mm-hmm. So, at the end of the day, searches are taking place. If the cookies have been accepted, if the technology is tracking what search behavior is from that actual device and the IP address, then over time, in this scenario, the husband will be seeing retargeted ads, and that's what essentially the client has paid for. They've paid an agency or even in-house skills to be able to get some ROI on their media spend. So if that's the kind of, if you want those kind of gifts and you're searching using devices, then yeah, that's a great way of doing it. I mean, if you just think about, most of us are using smartphones and have downloaded so many different apps. We've given those apps media permissions. Yes. We've given them access to our media files. We've given some of them access to our microphones. So now, really, it doesn't even require a search these days. A conversation between you and I can result in us getting ads about certain products in a few hours. And the technology is, it's advanced. It's advancing every day. AI has been around for a long time, decades. Back in the days, it was before my time, even before my time. Chess games were using artificial intelligence, but through machine learning, deep learning, computers are capable of doing so much. The technology is capable of doing so much. And so AI is innovating at a rapid pace. And it is going to have impact on how we work, how we deliver our work, not just here, but, in various sectors and industries.
Okay. So with the rise of AI, the continuous rise, what makes you think you'll be able to have a job in the next 5 years?
Good question. I think it's just in terms of how AI technology is evolving and innovating, I think every professional has to evolve and innovate. We have to look at new ways of doing things. We have to be in a state of constant change and innovation to enhance what we do. Whether I'm selling commercial offering to clients, if I'm an organization offering services, if I'm one of the big four, or in academia, we have to, as professionals, be thinking about how we we understand what our core offering is,
Right.
and then leverage the right technologies in order to do that. You know, back once again, you know, when dealing with clients in the past, you know, you get a new piece of technology and it's the new shiny thing that's landed, and everyone's talking about how wonderful it is. You know, really, it's not thinking about buying that technology and seeing how you can use it. You know, technology is an enabler.
Right.
So it still requires that thinking in terms of how does it fit into the overall strategy? What are my overarching objectives? What am I trying to deliver here? And how can I leverage and use the right technologies in order to efficiently and effectively deliver value to the end customer, be they students or even commercial partners?
Okay. Next question is, how can individuals effectively showcase their digital marketing skills and experience to potential employers?
Well, this is once again an interesting thing, and you know, post-COVID. I mean, COVID's still here, but you know, in post-pandemic,
Right.
we know that our behaviours have changed. We know that we're using video technology. Those who weren't even using video technologies before are using it now. So there's been a significant change in terms of behaviour, and those behavioural changes mean that in the workplace, we know that recruiters, be it agencies or in-house teams, are going online looking for potential talent. They're searching, they're using Google, that being what you know, there are multiple search engines, but you know, Google being the dominant one is, you know, interesting because, you know, research shows that, you know, over 82% of people who search on Google also go to the images section,
Right.
to look at
Yes.
what pictures are there.
Yes.
So if I'm trying to be found by a potential employer, then I need to think about how I optimize my profile. I need to be thinking about how I use keywords. I need to know what kind of search terms people are using so that I can weave that into my narrative, into my bio, tag my images and my content correctly, think about the metadata. So now what's interesting now is that you can use AI, Embark, for example, as a way to help you work out what those keywords are and how to help you develop that content and copy. So that is going to have an impact on, excuse me, certain aspects of the working environment. But from my perspective, and in my opinion, generative AI is a starting point. It's where you start, but where we have to get better at is thinking about the prompts, thinking about how we ask the right questions in order to get the output. And the same applies in data science. You know, if you keep on asking the same questions, the data will keep tell you that same story. If you get a diverse set of opinions and viewpoints, you will get a much richer data set. So thinking about how we approach the use of these technologies will give us much more value.
So prompt engineering you'd say prompt engineering is like the future of AI? Could you say that?
I think not so much the future of AI, but more so the future of how we as individuals use AI.
Right.
So one of the things that I will do in my teaching practice is and also my clients, is develop those critical skills in terms of asking the right questions, thinking about how you approach and use the technology as that enabler and not the final, you know, kind of the solution.
Okay. How would you say the integration of AI technologies, how would it influence the creative process? Do you think that creatives are going to lose their touch, get lazy? Should it be encouraged? Or what are your thoughts generally?
I think it's really interesting times. I mean, just from my LinkedIn feed, from the many creatives that are in my network, one of the things, and some of them are award-winning, you know, globally recognized creative directors, you know, they are saying that there's a human element that's required. Now, yes, AI will innovate, AI will become much more capable as time moves on, and it'll become better at what it does. But there is still that human element Now I understand, and I do believe that we will come to a point where computers will be thinking for themselves and behaving. But for me that's a scary, dangerous place, because you've got to think about who wrote that code. What are the biases involved in the generation of that code?
Right.
And I don't think that debate is being had enough. There are some senior people in industry talking about it. You've seen people from Google, talk about it. You've seen people who've left Google or no longer there talking about it in serious ways. But for the general people like us who are consumers and users of this technology, many are not thinking about that. So that output is something, and I digress a little bit, but
Right.
it's something that I think is really important for us to be cognizant of. Computing still, when you look at some of the outputs, when you look at some of the, and there are people now, AI is generating influencers
Right.
who don't exist. They're not
Yes.
real,
Yes.
right? They've been
Yes.
created out of someone's mind. Someone's. It reminds me of a film that I watched as a teenager where they create their perfect person. But the
I saw that.
but you've got influencers now who aren't real that brands are paying to promote their goods and services.
True.
So that's happening. It's all it's there. However, there is still need for that human
Touch.
interaction because we buy people.
True,
We buy
true.
into people, and that emotion is still a very human thing, and that's where we need to connect.
Finally, are there any books or resources, websites, or even people as case studies that you would recommend for someone who's looking to deepen their understanding in the marketing industry?
Marketing, there's a whole array of people out there, from Seth Godin, Gary Vee comes up a long time, but not my cup of tea, but he is from many others.
Yeah.
But in terms of AI, there's lots of people popping up sharing information about the latest development.
Right.
Following people like Geoffrey Hinton, who talks a lot about the godfather of AI, who talks about the fact that AI has become sentient in the sense that computers can now think and feel, right? So that's we're in territory where the technology is already advanced
Right.
further than the conversations or even the policies that are being developed to manage that. The tech companies are always way ahead of the lawmakers anyway. You've got Blake Lemoine talking about AI as well. Resources like AI Authority, AIauthority.com,
Okay.
which is a US publisher, I believe. In terms of marketing AI, courses that we run here at Salford Business School, we are innovating and elevating what we do to help students be ready for industry. And that means knowing and understanding how AI technologies and other technologies can play a role in developing those skill sets.
Okay. Thank you so much for an insightful conversation. It was very informative and educational, as always. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Mirage Islam, everyone. Woo!
Big shout out to MZM and the team, delivering content that is relevant and useful to you, the audience. It's been a pleasure working with you, and I look forward to speaking to you again. Till the next time.